Now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has announced an 82.9% matric pass rate for the class of 2023. The Free State was the top performing province with an 89% pass, followed by KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Let's discuss these figures now with Northwest MEC Viola Motsumi and Free State Education MEC Makalo Mohale. Thank you to both of you for joining us this evening, and congratulations to both of you. I guess let's start with you, MEC Mohale, for the Free State. Again, clinching that #1 spot. What is the secret?
Thanks very much. Let me first appreciate and pass my gratitude to the learners who have worked so hard, who are so resilient, some of them despite the challenging situations, but also acknowledge the hard work of the teachers, the parents, but most importantly, the Free Staters, the general communities. And that's basically the secret, because in the province of the Free State, everyone is hard at work in taking part in education of our learners. So it's not only a departmental issue. Local government is hard at work. Municipalities understand clearly that they have a direct impact on the performance of education. That is why some of the municipalities, in fact a good number of them, one may put that way, they also have they make direct efforts in ensuring that there is a minimum disruption to education. But most importantly, I'm humbled by those parents who would make efforts to ensure, especially in some areas where the learners are unable even to, where there are no proper roads. There are some of the parents who on daily basis, they made it their business, especially for the young ones. They carry the young ones to go through, especially when it rains. Some of the parents, they also go during the time of the camps. They go and provide security services voluntarily. So the secret of the province of the Free State is that everyone takes part in education.
Parents' involvement, very important. Now, MEC Motsumi, congratulations to your province too, but unfortunately you do rank, at the bottom of the list there. What are your takeouts from these matric results? And are you feeling, there seems to be a celebratory mood that these are wonderful matric results. Is that how you're feeling?
I think one must start by indicating that in the last academic year, 2022, the results, in terms of the results, Northwest, it was position 5. And it must be noted that now we have managed to occupy position 4. For us, it's a victory. Even the MEC of Department of Education in Free State will definitely agree with me when I say, actually, that top 5, because I form part of top 5, now I'm number 4, the victor is the Northwest Province, because we moved from position 5 until position 4. So really, I'm happy about the results. And also, let me take you by congratulating class of 2023 for making me proud. Remember, I became the MEC in 2022, around December. You would imagine I have to adapt. I have to do so many things. I've realized that there was a serious disjuncture between your district and your province. And whether we like it or not, service delivery comes from the districts, are the ones who are closer to our constituencies. So through collectivism, through hard work and commitment, this is where we are today. That is why we've managed to move from position 5 to position 4. That needs to be celebrated. So
if we had to take a look at this promotion of the advancement as well, moving from position 5 to 4, would you say, MEC Motsumi, that maybe in the next 4 years that the Free State MEC should watch out, because the Northwest, if we look at this trajectory, could possibly then clinch that #1 spot?
Look what happened to Gauteng. Gauteng used to be position 2 consistently so. Today they are position 3. I'm position 4. I've moved from position 5. Higher possibilities is that come this year, next year, when they pronounce the result, I'll be position 3. It will depend on the commitment and the strategies that we have been working. And I've got confidence, my team, in making sure that we occupy that particular position.
You came into the office December 2022. You know, it's not a very long time. Since you've come in, what are some of the challenges that you'd say you've faced, just briefly, before we go to break, and then we can expand on those further, also looking at the Free State too?
Like I've already indicated, imagine you being new in the new environment. You have to adapt first, and you are dealing with a new team. Number one, you have to build a team spirit among your team members. So that's where I managed to concentrate basically based on that, in making sure there's a strong team that I'm having, and then they are used to me. But the other challenges that I've encountered as the new MEC in that particular department is that I was encountering continuous protests by community members. We have seen last year when the grade 12 were about to write examinations, especially in Bujanala, where most of the schools were affected by storms and so on. So those were one of the challenges that I was confronted with, but we managed as a team to overcome them.
Infrastructure challenges, how big of a problem is that for you in the Free State, MEC?
Yes, like all other provinces, we do have the challenges of infrastructure. Our biggest issue is around the maintenance. But I must indicate that we are one of those provinces which we are doing well in terms of addressing the infrastructure backlog. Our only challenge is the act of vandalism, where after we have maintained the school, after we have built a new school, shortly thereafter, the criminals come and commit an act of crime, where they commit act of burglaries and steal some of the equipment, as well as the damaging of the very same facility. But other than that, the Free State province is addressing its challenges of infrastructure very well. Our schools are continuously being maintained. We are trying to expedite the pace with which we respond to the infrastructure challenges. I know it's one of the major concerns that we are unable to address all the current challenges all at once. And for those that we have not, or for those schools which we have not been able to address at the present moment, they feel impatient. But nonetheless, our infrastructure rollout program is up in full swing, and we're quite happy. We just feel that we need to expedite it a little bit more to keep up with the demand. I'm
still joined by MEC for Education in the Northwest, as well as the MEC for Education in the Free State. You know, MEC Motsumi, we were talking earlier about the Northwest, and you're saying, you know, it is making an improvement, but there are those who are saying that these figures that we're looking at of these matric pass rates are actually not an adequate and really justified picture of what's really happening on the ground. When we're looking at a 30 to 40% mark, giving you a pass rate, what are some of the challenges that you think you're facing as a department to increase this number?
I think one must just indicate, let's start there. Credit must be given with due. For the fact that Minister has indicated that there is a huge improvement in terms of performance of class of 2023, one must indicate to say that at least we are getting somewhere as a sector. I must indicate that I think what we have to do as a sector, we must start now to focus at the level at the foundation phase, because that's where we are experiencing challenges. And I must indicate also in terms of 2023 results to say that the Minister has already acknowledged that in terms of number of learners who are doing physical science and maths, we have improved. For example, from mathematics, this year, for 2023 results, we were at 59 point something, got 2022. Then this year, we have improved from 59 to 66.6. And you look at number of learners now who are enrolling in maths and science, they have improved compared to before. So I think somewhere, somehow, as a sector, we'll continue to try our level best to close gaps where necessary, and also channel most of our resources to our learners in order for them to improve the results, and try to make sure the community out there understand where we are and also acknowledge where we are doing good.
Speaking of resources as well, this always becomes a sore thorn when we talk about basic education as well. it would be amiss not to discuss the fact that, there are still pit latrines that are being used for toilets. There's still schools that don't have laboratories. There's still schools that don't have computer labs and the likes. And yet we expect young people to then go into these gateway subjects such as science and maths. But the schools sometimes don't have the resources to properly educate learners in these matters. What do you make of that, MEC?
Yes, the issues of the challenges around resources, I think, is a challenge of every country, where you need to make hard decisions as to where do you take money from to address certain challenges. And I think our department is not immune from that. But one thing I can indicate with the province of the Free State is that we prioritize teaching and learning a lot. We make some of the sacrifices to ensure that at least what matters the most receive a priority. For an example, we spend a large chunk of our budget on addressing these backlogs in terms of provision of the necessary facilities, either being it for science, being for computer-related studies. But one thing I must indicate is that we're one of those provinces where we receive a lot of support from the private sector and the partnerships. We leverage a lot on the partnerships with the private sector and all the other stakeholders that are interested in education. And that helps us a lot because we're able to join this scarce resource, the little we have and the little that they also bring on the table. And as a result, we're able to roll out some of these requirements in our schools faster. Because one can make an example. Now in November, I have just opened a new science lab in Velkom, which was donated by a mining house. But that's not the only one. Many of the stakeholders, almost on a monthly basis, were able to make an announcement that this one gave us a science lab, this one gave us a media house. So one of the provinces that we also invest a lot in keeping the partnerships or on ensuring that we leverage more on all of those because they assist us to address the issue of the scarcity of resources. Because if we don't find external money or external assistance, we would not be able to address our challenges or in fact, alternatively, it will take us time to roll out all of these measures, particularly around infrastructure or facilities which are needed. So we are quite innovative in how we do our things so that we can attract the external funding. And of course, the fact that we are doing well in matric pass rate plays a major role because it shows the confidence. Yeah,
so you've got leverage when you go and try and get
we leverage on that one because all the other donors and all the people that are willing to invest their money, they for sure want to know whether their money will be used properly or whether there will be positive results out of that. So as and when we are doing well, we attract more funding and that assists us in addressing some of the challenges which otherwise would not have been able to address with our only allocation from the fiscus.
Well, just to wrap that up as well, before I let you go as well, MEC Motsumi, we also heard Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga talking about these private sector partnerships, as your colleague has just mentioned. Is that also the case when it comes to the Northwest?
You look at the Northwest province compared to other provinces. We have to admit that it is dominated by rural areas. But you look at the biggest district, which is your Bojanala district, where you find there are some mines there. I can confirm that indeed we are getting support from mines around Rustenburg. And there are some mines around Dr. KK, where also they were able to assist us as the province. That is why the improvement today. That is why today we are one of the provinces that managed to produce more learners obtaining bachelors, which is quality. Therefore, we are getting a little bit of support, but what we are going to do, our strategy is to make sure that we strengthen the relations between us, government, and the mining industry and other relevant stakeholders.
Well, that's very encouraging to hear. And thank you to you both, MECs, and well done to both your provinces for those matric results. Thank you for joining us. That was Viola Motsumi, Northwest MEC for Education, and Makalo Mohale, Free State Education MEC.